2025 just clocked the lowest home sales Vancouver has seen in over 20 years. And if that headline alone made you feel uneasy, you're not wrong. But here's the thing that no one's saying out loud. This is exactly what a market looks like right before power shifts. So today I'm going to break down the numbers that everyone's been panicking about, and I'm going to show you what they're actually telling us between the lines about Vancouver real estate going into 2026. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel, share with a friend, and follow me at the Mina Mindset for Real, be it on Instagram, Facebook, or right here on YouTube. All right, so let's ground ourselves in reality for a second. In 2025, sales were down 10% year over year. Total transactions hit about 23,800, which is the lowest in over 2 decades. Prices softened across all property types and inventory climbed to levels we haven't seen in years. All of this sounds disastrous, but emotionally heavy markets and structurally broken markets are not the same thing. This wasn't a crash year, it was a pause year. And so when we start to look into the misunderstood stats, the lowest sales in 20 years, everybody seems to be clinging to it. But it is the lowest annual sales total in over 20 years. But let me ask you something as a strategist and not a headline reader. If sales are low but listings are at record highs, what does that actually tell us? It tells us that sellers showed up and buyers hesitated. And that distinction matters because hesitation isn't fear, it's uncertainty. And uncertainty almost always resolves. So let that one sit in. Now, if we talk about inventory, because this is where the narrative flips, in 2025, over 65,000 properties were listed, and that's the highest level since the mid 90s. It's also higher than 2008 and even higher than in 2021, and higher than almost anyone can remember. Most people hear that and they think oversupply. I hear that and I think something else, which is choice. Choice for buyer means negotiating power, inspection leverage, and time to think and fewer emotional mistakes. That is not a weak market by any means. So here's the part that quietly changed everything. While prices eased about 4 to 5% year over year, borrowing costs dropped nearly a full percentage point. And most people look at price charts in isolation. But savvy buyers look at them as monthly payment math. So when you combine slightly lower prices, meaningfully lower rates, and abundant inventory, you get something that Vancouver actually hasn't offered in years, which is optionality. That's key. So let's talk about the ratios because this is where emotions usually mislead people. The December sales to active listings ratio overall was at about 12.7%, detached at 9.3, attached at 14.6, apartments at 15.1. Historically, anything below 12% created downward pressure, and anything above 20% resulted in upward pressure. So yes, we're near the lower bound, but markets don't stay at extremes forever. What they do is they stabilize first. And stabilization rarely ever makes headlines, but it's where smart money positions. So this is why 2026 is going to be quietly different. The GVR economist said something really important, and I'm surprised more people haven't highlighted it. He said the negative impact of trade tensions appears to be easing, and consumer sentiment has improved modestly in the second half of the year. Translation, the macro fear that froze 2025 is losing momentum, and markets don't need optimism to move. They just need less fear than before. And that's usually how recoveries begin, not with excitement, but with relief. So, if we do the Mina mindset takeaway here, 2025 shook out the emotional buyers, the unrealistic sellers, and lazy assumptions. 2026 starts with better pricing signals, more educated participants, and structurally healthier negotiations. That doesn't mean that prices are going to rocket overnight. It means the quality of decisions improves, and in real estate, quality decisions compound. So if you're waiting for Vancouver real estate to feel safe again, you'll probably miss the window because safety doesn't announce itself. It shows up quietly, and that shows up in stable ratios, in calmer buyers, in smarter deals. And that's exactly what I'm watching as we head into 2026. So if you're interested in more between the lines market insights, not hype, not fear, subscribe and follow at the Mina Mindset for Real right here on YouTube, or on Instagram and Facebook. And I will see you in the next one.